At the beginning of the movie we see an advertisement for the paratroopers. By joining them, anyone can fulfill their duty to the United Civil Federation ruling on Earth, as well as gain citizenship. In other news, the planet has begun to be attacked by the arachnids, alien creatures that live in the Klendathu star system. The enemies bombard Earth with meteorites, but they are often neutralized while still in space. A reporter broadcasts from a planet where arachnids are attacking the troopers. Unfortunately, the enemy proves to be too strong and the report is interrupted. The action moves back a year. A boy named Rico decides to draw during class. His teacher, Mr. Ruschek, who lost his arm during the battles for the colonies, asks him to be less distracted. Dizzy, Rico's friend, tries to look into the drawing, but she fails. The hero, on the other hand, creates a portrait of Carmen, his lover. Meanwhile, Ruschek explains that in the Federation, only those who have served in the military have the right to vote and many other benefits. This is due to the fact that they are stronger in spirit than the rest of us. The citizen is personally responsible for what happens in the country. After the lesson, the hero kisses Carmen, who smiles at him. The girl offers Rico to find out the results of their exams together. The first thing looked at in the flight academy, where Carmen wants to enter, is math. The girl runs her results on the screen and learns that she coped with 97%. Rico, however, is not so lucky. He scored only 35% and fails the exam. The hero's friend, Carl, suggests not to dwell so much on Carmen and pay attention to Dizzy. However, Rico remains true to his feelings. On the way to the lesson, Carmen is excited about becoming a Starship pilot in the future. In biology, students study the remains of arachnids to better understand their enemies. The teacher tells them that the creatures have developed their intelligence to such an extent that they can already colonize other planets and try to enslave their inhabitants. Rico works enthusiastically and asks the girl to help him with the autopsy. However, Carmen becomes ill and she runs out of the office under Dizzy's jokes. After classes, the hero spends time with Carl, who demonstrates his psychic abilities and the ability to control animals. The next day, Carmen cheers on the school's Tigers team, where Hero and Dizzy are playing. Rico manages to pull off a victory while his opponent flies into the stands. After getting up, Xander sees Carmen in front of him and starts flirting with her. This makes the hero very angry. At home, Rico quarrels with his parents, as they want their son to enter Harvard, not the army. At the disco in honor of graduation, the hero talks to Ruschek, who advises him to choose his path in life. Rico decides to join the army, despite his parents' disapproval. The hero gets into the airborne, while Carmen becomes a Starship pilot and realizes she'll be studying with Xander, who likes her, and Carl gets into intelligence because of his abilities. Rico and the other recruits arrive at Camp Curry, where they are rigorously but effectively trained by Sergeant Zim. From a more prestigious position, Dizzy is transferred to the same paratroopers. This angers the hero greatly. Among the new recruits, Rico quickly makes friends. Almost all of them decided to serve in order to obtain citizenship and have more rights in ordinary life. Rico does not forget about his favorite girl and records a video for her from the common room. In the process, Ace, the hero's new friend, often enters the frame. Carmen watches the video with a smile, after which she runs with her friend Stack to the first training flight. Her instructor becomes Xander, who has specifically signed up for the position. Carmen brilliantly manages the Starship and impresses her superiors. The girl also flirts quite openly with Xander. Meanwhile, Rico wins during the training capture the flag. The hero makes peace with Dizzy, who helped him, and in the evening listens to a message from Carmen. The girl confesses that she wants to break up with Rico. Ace supports the hero and advises him not to get discouraged. The next day's training takes place with combat weapons. Rico, who is leading the first squad, takes off one of the guys' helmets to fix the bindings. This causes the fallen Dizzy to accidentally shoot the guy. Zim stands up for Rico, who made a mistake in front of his superiors, and he receives an administrative punishment. The hero must endure 10 lashes. Ace, who became the commander instead of Rico, watches this with a smile. Meanwhile, Carmen almost kisses Xander and prevents a collision with an asteroid. For this, the girl receives praise from the commander. Rico decides to leave the troops and talks to his parents via video link. They say that they are very much waiting for their son back, but the connection is suddenly interrupted by a strange black shadow. The hero says goodbye to Dizzy and is about to go home. Before leaving the core, Rico learns that the town where he was born was destroyed by an asteroid. The hero wants to take back his letter of resignation, and Zim allows him to do so. The commander of all Federation forces issues an order to destroy the arachnid planet Klendathu. Carl also gets on the news, talking about the best way to get rid of enemies. The landing troops are moved to a transport ship. Together with Dizzy and Ace, the hero wants to make a tattoo as a souvenir, but then he is called by a woman's voice. Turning around, Rico sees Carmen in front of him. The girl has become an officer of the flying troops, just like Xander. Carmen talks to him as if nothing had happened, which makes the hero very angry. Xander insults the airborne troops, saying that only low-class people get into them. This enrages Rico, and he puts up a fight. However, the crowd quickly separates the rivals. The hero and his friends get a tattoo on his arm as a memento. Finally, the time comes to attack Klendathu. Many fighters are loaded into starships and prepare for the imminent battle. The hero's squad will be commanded by Ruschek, his old teacher. Huge starships fly over the planet and drop landing pods on it. At this point, the arachnids begin their attack, trying to shoot down the human troops still outside the atmosphere. Most of the starships also come under fire. Carmen tries to get her ship into orbit, but she too is hit by an enemy shell. Due to the Federation's overconfidence, most of the troops die before reaching the planet. Fortunately, Rico and his friends manage to land without casualties. During the arachnid attack, Ace looks confused and doesn't know what orders to give. Rico seizes the initiative and demands that everyone open fire on the enemies while they are at a distance. However, the arachnids are becoming more and more numerous. To avoid unnecessary losses, the hero orders a retreat to the starships. One of the arachnids before dying wounds Rico in the leg. The military from Earth admits that they underestimated the power of the enemy and because of this suffered terrible losses. The Marshal resigns, and his successor suggests that the insects should first be well studied in order to understand how to deal with them, avoiding a repeat with Klendathu. A host of scientists propose different theories, arguing over whether insects from other planets could share a common mind. Meanwhile, Carmen's starship returns to base. The first thing the girl does is check the casualty lists and learns that Rico has lost his life. Carmen cries and runs away from Xander. Meanwhile, the hero is in a special capsule where he heals the wound on his leg. A laughing Dizzy shows a notice that he is presumed dead. Soon the hero recovers and joins a new squad of thugs together with the girl and Ace. Ruschek is in command there. The man tells that their elite squad received a new combat task. It is necessary to destroy all arachnids on every planet. The first wave of mopping up is done from the air, and then the paratroopers come into action. Rico and his partners easily deal with the usual enemies. However, a new enemy appears from underground, a giant beetle spewing fire. Rico jumps on his back and tries to pierce the shell with his weapon. After that, the hero blasts the monster by jumping away from it behind an obstacle. Ruschek is impressed with the work of his former student. The man informs that he needs a corporal and offers Rico to take this position. In the evening, Ruschek offers his fighters to rest and have fun. The hero rejects Dizzy's offer to dance together. However, after Ruschek's advice not to miss chances, Rico flirts with the girl and ends up in the bedroom with her. There, Dizzy confesses his love to the hero. Their games are interrupted by the appearance of Ruschek. The man allows Rico to come to the urgent council not in 10 minutes, but in 20, noticing Dizzy. Ruschek reveals that a SOS signal has come from the former colony. The next day, a squad of thugs goes there. In the closet, Rico discovers another general who has lost his men. The man tells them that the arachnids used the distress signal to trap them all. The aliens are sucking the brains out of the fighters and studying them. Ruschek realizes that the arachnids will soon attack the colony. Together with the teams, the man defends himself behind the walls. Dizzy calls for reinforcements in the form of a starship operated by Carmen and Xander. Ruschek orders the troops to retreat to the transport, but gets trapped himself. Rico ends the commander's torment. Dizzy destroys a giant bug, but she is horribly wounded by a common arachnid. The girl passes away in a starship where the hero takes her to. Rico, who has become commander, asks Xander to relay his demand to the command to destroy the planet Pi, as it has too many arachnids. Rico and his men arrive at the base. Carl shows up and tells them that the commanders knew about the trap, but sent the troopers anyway to test the arachnids' intelligence. Rico takes command of the thugs and talks to Carmen. The hero returns to Planet Pi with a new mission to find the arachnids' think tank. Carmen's starship is hit, most people are burned or fall into space. The girl together with Xander manages to get to the Planet Pi and land in a strange cave. Carmen signals her location to the hero. The arachnids capture her and Xander. Rico sends all the fighters to the target, and he and 2 volunteers are going to rescue Carmen and turn in another direction. Xander, meanwhile, stealthily hands the girl a knife. A huge arachnid brain approaches the heroes. Xander loses his life, but Carmen manages to cut off the monster's sting. It was through him that the huge arachnid sucked out the victim's brains. Rico appears and rescues Carmen along with Ace. Coming out of the cave, the hero learns that the arachnid's brain was captured in a cave nearby. Scientists transport it to Earth to study it in more detail. Rico learns that the brain was captured by Zim, who became a private and was demoted for the sake of joining the troopers. In addition, the hero communicates with Carl, who is able to read the thoughts of the arachnid brain. Carmen becomes a captain and Rico becomes a lieutenant. Together they continue the fight against the arachnids. This is the end of the movie. Thank you all for watching this video to the end. Give this video a like. Write in the comments what you think about this movie, and see you in new videos.